tell you, Streamlabs is a little bit of a bitch sometimes, ain't it? All right. Are we good now? Is my audio good? Like, don't even, if you can just hear me. If the audio is good now, are we good? Can you hear the music? All right, we good? So, like I was saying, it's good to be back here in the dojo. What's up, all my good and nerdy people? Jedi Jen, Lord Vito. What is going on, y'all? It's so good to see y'all in here. It's good to be back in on the stream. You know what I mean? It's good to be back on the stream. Obviously had that mic issue right there, but it's all good. It's all good. We're chilling. So like I said, we're gonna have a great show tonight. Omi one to hold me. What is going on, bro? Look, we're gonna have a great show tonight. Star Wars and you go G popping in here too, bro. Look, we're gonna be talking about the Black Adam trailer, how you guys feel about it, how I feel about it. To be 100, bro, I'm really digging the Black Adam trailer. I'm really digging the Black Adam trailer. It's funny, like I thought it would hit for a lot of people, but it didn't really hit for everybody like it hit for me, bro. It hit. What's going on, Jared? But I liked it. Coming up, then after that, we're gonna be talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Should we say Obi Mid Kenobi, bro? Obi Mid Kenobi. Is that what it's turning into? Like, it's quickly turning into some mids, bro. It's quickly turning into that mid pack. So we got to talk about that and talk about why it's turning into mid. And then I want to talk about Miss Marvel. And the interesting thing here is that everybody in the world, everybody and their mama knew that Miss Marvel would be a show that would be for teenagers. You know, it would be a teenage woke show, right? Like, everybody just knew that. But now people are calling it woke. People aren't identifying it as woke. I'm not gonna let that pass, bro, because we'll get into it. It's setting up an excuse for other stuff, but nah, we're not gonna. It's deeper than the fact that it's not woke. There's a reason why it doesn't seem woke to some people. So we'll talk about that, because that show is definitely sending messages. It's just hitting different because of one particular reason, which I think people should realize. But other than that, bro, it's gonna be a great show. Look, like I said, let's go ahead and kick it off with this Black Adam. Let's go ahead and kick it off with this Black Adam. We're gonna change the mood here. Let's change up the music and kick it off with this. Black Adam for a little bit. So let me know if y'all can hear the music in the background there too. Let me know how the audio is. All right. So look, while I pull up this Black Adam trailer, I want to ask y'all. What do you think? What did you think about the trailer? What's going on, Mr. Griffin? Jared in the building too? What's popping? Yo, Miss Marvel was fire, bro. Miss Marvel was definitely fire. Lord Vito. Let me ask y'all this. Did the Black Adam trailer get y'all hyped? Flames, sparks, dud. You'll be able to get it. Like, I want to know what y'all felt about it. Like, bro, I'm really looking forward to it. DC, he says you're looking forward to Black Adam, only DC since Snyder Cut I've been interested in. Hey, man, I feel you. I feel like that's something for a lot of people. All right, let's see these early votes we got in here. We got 2 votes for Flames. All right, so let's get into it. Shall we? Oh, that's the wrong one, damn it. All right, look, now we got, okay. We got a few more votes in like that. All right, so let's get it. All right, let's watch this trailer together. This is actually going to be my second time. Green Bear, Nerd Mafia. Go holler at my man Nerd Mafia if you haven't already. Green Bear over there. His name is Nerd Mafia for right now. We don't know when he's going to change his name again. I'm just playing with you, bro. Go holler at Nerd Mafia. I love the new name, bro. So let's go ahead and look at this trailer.
Black Adam. What have your powers ever given to you? Nothing but heartache.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I was a slave until I died. Then I was reborn a god. My son sacrificed his life to save me. Now, I kneel before no one. In this world, there are heroes.
Like these costumes, bro. Like, bruh, that's dope. It's a little mirror dimension. That's dope.
Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do.
So we're gonna have a little bit of comedy there too. That felt
My
very
vision
tight.
has shown me the future. You have two choices. You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its savior. That's up to you.
Behind you! Did he just catch a rocket?
He got a rocket.
Ooh, they detected my copyright. All right. Ooh, chill. Chill. Okay. Whoa. Ooh, that was close. That was close. I'm still here, right? I'm still here, right? We good? Because you know WB like to comfort people. We good? Let me let me make sure. All right, we good. We good. They ain't killed me yet. All right, bad. Bro, that trailer is dope, bro. What did Vito say? What did Vito say? That's how I felt with Shang-Chi. Oh, okay. Yo, that shit was dope, bro. I can't look at the chat right now. I can't look at the chat. Let me get this music back on. That joint was dope, and here's the reasons why. Like, it feels like very fresh. Like, I did have one thought looking at the trailer again that I didn't have the first time. It was like, oh shit, are they gonna have to have somebody try to stop Black Adam? And to me, that makes sense for Superman to have to come into the equation to try to stop Black Adam. But other than that, bro, like, this has me very intrigued. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm probably gonna try to go watch this movie when it comes out in theaters, like on the first weekend, bro. Like that's how intrigued I am about it, and that's great. Like, it's good to finally have some DC. Like, even the Snyder Cut didn't have me like hyped to go see it like that, because I've been so damaged by Batman versus Superman that like I really didn't want to go see it. You know what I mean? I know I wasn't even really that hyped for it. Snyder Cut, like, and y'all kind of know how I feel about Snyder Cut. Like, I'm not as high on it as everybody else is. But when it comes to this here, bro, like, this feels unique. And the thing is, like, it feels superhero-y, but it doesn't feel Marvel, right? Like, it still feels like DC. It doesn't look like anything Marvel will ever put together. So that's one thing on top of it. Another thing that I really love about this trailer here and about just the look of this movie is, bro, just like all out, just keep it 100. Like, the costumes, like, I know we got the Blue Beetle costume first look at like a couple weeks ago, but DC, bro, has been killing the costumes. Like, look at this jank, bro. The Scarlet Scarab can never. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, Sam, but you can never. This is a fucking Hulk suit, right? Like, this is it right here, bro. Is it a lot? Yeah. But, okay. It looks good right here, and I hope it doesn't come up or become an issue. Like, when you have something this big and grand in scale, how it's going to look when he fights with it is going to maybe look a little awkward. But at this point, that's nitpicky. I don't even fucking care right now. Like, that just looks dope, bro. Like, that in itself looks dope. There's nothing to be hyped. Going to Molecule Man. Bro, not Molecule Man. What is it? It's Atomic, right? Look, I'm not a DC head. Stop with the Snyder hate. It's not Snyder hate, Felicity. It's true talk. It's true talk. What's my man's name? Adam, right? Is it Adam? right? Cool. That's it. That's it, right? Either way, like this shit looks cool, bro. And then also, yeah, I think Dr. Fate is one that like steals the show for me. Like when you got somebody that looks like this dude looks like he's a great Dr. Fate without putting on the helmet. Like he's dope, bro. So when you get into like Dr. Fate in action, like they just nail it. Wherever I go. They just nail it.
They're heroes.
I feel the pain in my city wherever.
The helmet looks dope. Like they just nail it. The powers look dope. This shit has potential. This shit has potential. And I was trying to think of a good way to put it, and I honestly don't know if I came up with a good way to put it as to like why this works over like how they might have just done Justice League, right? Like how like they might have figured out how to a better way to jumpstart this shit, if you will. Because to me, like that was one of the issues with the Justice League, is that like they were kind of just jump starting shit. Like I ain't have really no connection with these characters like that. And when you had something like the Justice League going down, it just really didn't feel that like real. Didn't feel that organic, if you will. Here, this feels like it feels a lot better seeing all of these people on one screen at one time, right? Like it doesn't feel like they're just jumping in to try to match up with an Avengers movie. Like it feels ready, right? Like it feels like on time to have this come together, unlike it felt like when it felt like Justice League. That's an interesting thing for me to think about, because it's not like when you're thinking about Justice League, that's like the biggest knock. It's the biggest knock on it. Like it's like, bruh, they just tried to rush it and had no development. So to come from that and to think about just the floundering that they've really done, like when you think about when Justice League came out, and even to Snyderverse, DC has done a lot of floundering. A lot of floundering up to this point. Like really, when you think about after Justice League, they really haven't done anything to flesh out a DC universe, because things have been so all over the place. Like I don't know, maybe I don't follow DC enough to know, but from what I understand, Birds of Prey and Joker were in the same universe. Is this in the same universe as the Joker? Also as well, I mean, I guess the Snyderverse was in that. Like, is this building on the universe where where the Birds of Prey universe, the Suicide Squad universe, the Peacemaker universe? Like, we haven't seen that come full on like together yet, other than the Joker showing up in the Snyder. It feels real good. It says a lot for what WB can do here in the future. Now, one thing that I would hate, and we might talk about Ezra Bridger later, but one thing that I will hate about this though is we get something this good, and I'm afraid that we'll just go backwards. Like, I'm afraid we'll get something this good, like right here, because I have a really good feeling that this is going to be a pretty good movie. If anything, I would say maybe mid-tier, like just a good movie, like right, like not nothing to like kick off a franchise. Like it's just probably going to be a good, fun movie. But it's all about the universe, right? It's all about how they're going to build stuff out. So I'm kind of curious, like especially with what's coming up with Flashpoint. I'm kind of curious at how they'll continue to build this out. But maybe this would be a good point to be like, here's the thing, like I don't want to get high on this and then go back to Flashpoint and be like, oh my god, what is WB doing? Right? Like you don't want to do that. So that's where like the whole like kind of hang up is, as far as like getting overly hyped for this movie, because at the end of the day, I know it feels like it's probably just one movie that's going to be great. But other than that, like I don't want to get too hyped for it, because like part of my hype for nerdy stuff comes from the connectivity that it's going to have with something else down the line. That's where part of my hype comes from. Like that's why I look at shit and make theories. Here, I don't know how much is in the case, but either way, like it's a good trailer. It's a great trailer. I'm excited for it. But let me know what you all think. I'm gonna hop back up in the chat here. Make sure you drop a like on this stream. Like the stream. Say what's up to me. Sub to the channel. We're gonna wrap this up, and then we're gonna get into that Kenobi talk, and then we get right into Miss Marvel. And the Miss Marvel and Kenobi talk is kind of go kind of hand in hand. You know what I mean? Relo toot time. What is going on, my brother? How is it going, man? How is it going? It's good to see everybody back up in here. It's been a little minute since we've been on the stream. You know, I've been grinding on the videos. But we're probably going to stream back once a week. We get both of them popping. You know what I mean? Felicity says, stop with the Snyder hate. Nah, you wild. It's not. Why are you tempting WB's wrath? Look, I don't know, Jedi Jen. I don't know. But yeah, Dr. Fate does look cool, Vito. Mr. Griffith says, how are they going to combine the two different tones of Black Adam and Shazam later on down the road? Is there down the road for DCEU? That's a great question.
It's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
That's a good question about down the road. I mean, I think it's easy as putting him in and having him in his own corner. Like, I think they've, like, if we follow darker, like, if you think about watching Marvel, we follow the heroes, but if we follow the villains, it would be much darker. So I think that's probably how they're, like, they'll be combined probably in that kind of way when they come together. Like, he'll probably have better interactions, like, more clean interactions with Shazam. But when you go around to, like, they'll probably just give him his gritty moments, if you will. That's a good question, though. It's always a conundrum when it comes to combining those. Hey, ain't no Snyder. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not in the Snyder cut gang. I think he does make good movies. It's Adam Smasher, by the way. Thank you. Look, yeah, see, I don't know my DC heroes like that, to be honest. So I'm hyped. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, bruh, it doesn't take me any time to get hyped and to go down the rabbit hole. So, like, if this DC stuff pops up, I'm excited because it's just gonna give me some more stuff to get nerdy about. But I haven't seen enough from DC to really dive into that nerdy passion like I have for Marvel and like I have recently for Star Wars. So I'm excited. I hope it does that. All right, see you, Vito. Let's make the Titans universe the main DCEU. Jared, get out of here. Bye, Jared. Bye, Jared. Somebody put Jared on timeout for that. I'm playing, man. I'm playing. Black Adam is gonna be the is just gonna be the Rock starring the. Hey, look. But The Rock don't got superpowers. That's the thing. Like, that's why I think it's going to be fun. At the end of the day, The Rock, say what you want. The Rock knows how to make a good, fun action movie. Especially when it's something that'll work with. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Jumanjis. Like, Jumanji is my shit. And The Rock is great in it. Kevin Hart's great in it too. If Kevin Hart would, they should have put Kevin Hart in this shit. But no, like, should have Kevin Hart be his son. But not like this it's dope, bro. It's just dope. I don't think The Rock is gonna be getting in the way of this one. Yeah, Trinity, we're gonna get you triggered later when we talk about Thunderbolts at the end. I'm feeling Flash would be like Morbius. I do too, bro. Like, that's why I'm like, I can't get too hyped for this. Keen to see what they do with Dr. Fate in this movie. I love that dude. Yeah, I'm very. What's going on, Nathan? I am too, bro. I am too. Darth Chaos, what is popping, bro? You hyped for Thunderbolts? Yeah. Can you King? Hey, man. I hope it is, bro. I hope it gets you hyped. What's going on, Dirty Nap? How's it going, brother? Yo, Kevin Hart was his son in the movie, bro. If they casted Kevin Hart as Black Adam's son in this movie, bro, that would be 10 out of 10 hilarious, bro. Can we just like get a parody? Like, can they just do that shit? Yeah, Thunderbolts happening, bro. Thunderbolts is happening. Trinity is triggered because of an article that was written by Deadline, which was hilarious. Galen, what's going on, bro? But look, like I said, if you're just popping up in here, you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We're on the ground 2,000 subs. If you're nice enough, share the channel out. Also support the stream. The link down below if you want to support the stream here. You can do that down below with the Streamlabs link right there in the description. I didn't even know it was in the description. I didn't even know I had that shit set up until today, but it's there if you want to support the stream. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this Kenobi. Can we get into the Kenobi? Kevin Hart is Adam Smasher so you can finally grow. I'm weak. I'm weak. So look, let's talk about this Kenobi. y'all at on Kenobi right now? Where y'all at on Kenobi? Let me ask you this. Where are you at on Kenobi? Are you top mountain? Driving down the hill?
Supposing that creature, the one you killed,
I'm weak, Felicity.
was capable of
For
taking
facts,
an idea
though. Driving down the hill,
people's brains
or
and spurring to its own. You mean it's
are you?
other people's brains
Did you just fall off the cliff?
through the all?
You already fell off the cliff. Where are you at on Kenobi right now? Bro, I can't either, Jared. I don't even want to think about it right now. I don't even want to think about it right now, Jared. Damn, Jared, why did you put that in my head, bro? God damn. But nah, all right, let's talk about this Kenobi. Where y'all at right now? All right, because episode 1 was dope, bro. Like those first 2 weeks of Kenobi, I mean that first week of Kenobi when we got those first 2 episodes, everybody was on cloud 9, me included. Like we was like, yo, this joint is lit, this joint is good. All that shit, right? Everything. Then episode 3 comes along. And I haven't streamed since Kenobi been out, so it's gonna be good. I'm actually probably gonna pause it because I don't want the music getting in the way of my thoughts. Episode 3 came along, bro. I had major issues with episode 3, but I still thought the show was good. There's still things in the show, that episode, that I liked and thought was cool. But then it had issues, especially on rewatch. And then we got a Wednesday night. We got a Wednesday show. This week's episode 3. And I'm like, bro, the fuck is happening? Like, I'm like, what is going on? See, here's the thing. Like, I watch shows, and I know shows have issues, and I know shows have problems. There are good things that I like in the show. Like, every show has great things, and every show is not perfect. Every show has something that you might not like about it. Like, examples of certain perfect shows would be like Snowfall. Like, for the first, like, 3-4 seasons, I thought Snowfall was a perfect show. You know what I mean? For shows like Mandalorian, I thought season 2 was fucking perfect, bruh. Even the filler episode, I thought season 2 was perfect. You know what I mean? So it's like, there are perfect shows out there, but for a majority of shows out there, there are issues. Like, but there can still be great. Like, you have WandaVision, has issues, but it's still a great show. You know what I mean? Loki, still a great show, but I have major issues with episodes 3 and 4 of that series. Like, it's kind of similar here. Like, episode 1 had me lit, like in Kenobi. I was lit for episode 1. I was lit for episode 1 of Loki. Episode 2, it was good. Wasn't what I was expecting, and that's, you can say the same for both. But in episode 3 and 4 of Loki, it was like, the fuck. Episode 3, maybe not so much for for Kenobi, but it's still like, bro, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So like, it started going downhill. Episode 3 and 4. Is Darth Vader gonna have to choke a bitch? All right, so you got those, right? Like, an example of shows can be good and still have issues. An example of, I'm someone who would overlook issues and still be able to enjoy a show and still be able to call it good, still be able to call it great. Shows can have those issues. Because the thing is, when shows have issues like that, it might be in 1 episode, it might be in 2 episodes. You know what I mean? It might be a small part in 2 episodes. The issues are there, but they're not reoccurring, and they're not prevalent. So when it comes to Kenobi, I'm getting that. It is, like, Kenobi is an okay show. And here's why. Like, there are a lot of good moments in Kenobi for me, right? There are a lot of really good things that I like about honestly, one thing that I liked about Kenobi, like episode one to me was perfect. Like, and my favorite moment came in episode one, and it's kind of weird that that's my favorite moment. But my favorite moment in Kenobi was when Bail Organa was showed up at the cave and asked Kenobi to come help with Leia. That was my favorite moment of Kenobi, and that is so weird because it involves Bail Organa and Kenobi, and not a much bigger moment. But to me, that was the best moment that we've seen. Another moment, even in episode four, moments when Leia started holding Ben's hand, Kenobi's hand. That was a good moment to me, right? Like there are good moments in there. That's the only good moment I saw in that episode. Well, actually, in Leia in episode four, showing mental fortitude and resisting the Inquisitor, resisting Reva's mind reading shit. That was like pretty cool. Like I kind of liked that as well. But that's all I liked in episode four. But like in episode three, like the initial beatdown of Vader, like when Vader was initially beating him down, while that was like that felt really good. It was good in the moment. Seeing Vader pull up like that, the way he did, snapping the kids' necks, pulling them out. I really enjoyed. Like that was really good, bruh. That was really good. Even the shit when they were hiding out, like that whole thing was good. But then you get to issues, bro. And the issues is what really outweighs it for me. Like everybody's leaning on writing. But I think it also leans on decision making as well. Because yeah, you're writing these things the best you can, but there's a lot of room to flesh some of these things out. These episodes have been short, and there's a lot of room to have development with Vader there. I'm sorry, but there should be like at least 10 minutes of Vader. Maybe that's extreme. There should be at least 7 minutes of Vader in every episode. There should be scenes with Vader without Reva in it. That's where I'm getting. Like, we should be getting Vader. Why haven't we seen Vader even think about Kenobi yet? I wasn't even getting to that part. It's a lot of good moments. Like, honestly, there are good moments in this show. A lot of the good moments come from Leia. A lot of the good moments do come from Ewan McGregor as Kenobi. There have been good moments from Vader. And Reva is honestly a good character. I have issues with why they made the character the way they did. Like I'm someone who doesn't want to be pandered to. Like I feel like you could have made you intentionally made Reva a human skinned person just because she's black. But I feel like if they casted a white actor or actress, they probably would have had on makeup and prosthetics. Like to keep it 100. Like this feels weird. Like it feels weird. Like we normally don't get that type of treatment. But they're giving it here and they're giving it on purpose. She could have easily been cast as Moses Ingram could have easily been an alien just like the rest of the Inquisitors. That's my only hang up with Reva. Other than that, Reva is a pretty good character, except for I like her as a character, except for the fact that we meet her in the Kenobi series. We shouldn't be meeting her in the Kenobi series. I would have much rather met Reva in a Ahsoka series. I would have much rather met her in an Ahsoka series. Like what I get that might not make sense canon wise, or somebody might let me know how it might not make sense canon wise. But I get that. You know what I mean? I get that. But here is where the bad outweighs the good for me. Let me take a swig of water. Man, that good old, that water get good when it get all foggy bottom. It gets all foggy bottom at the bottom. That's how you know that water. Come on, man, focus on that shit. There you go. That's how you know when that water getting good. When it's like fog, it look like that church water. But yo, all right. But let me get to the real shit though. Let me get to the real shit. The show is just sloppy as fuck, and it's like I said, I can forgive certain things like for a certain amount of times. Like you know what I mean? Like I can forgive it like in one episode. Like yeah, cool. Like For example, at the end, like everybody's, bro, like how did these two ships just fly off and able to scoop Kenobi up on a base of Inquisitors? Why are no other Inquisitors flying out chasing after them? Why is there no other firing squad coming after them, right? And I even heard this 2 years after Cal Kestis invaded them. I didn't even know that. So, like, they should be on high alert because that's just 2 years later. So, like, because they know it's not impossible. Like, they should know that it's possible to have this going on. And they should have known that you got Leia there. So somebody's going to try to come capture him, right? But the sloppiness of them being there, like, I could have been able to overlook that. But when it comes to, like, when you have the sloppiness in episode 2, it's sloppy, like, it's little, like, sloppiness was little in episode 2. It wasn't a lot, it wasn't real sloppy. It was just a little sloppy in episode 2. But then you get to episode 3, and then it's like you got, like, 3 bigger things that are just a bit like, the hell, right? Like, how did Reva get to the end of that post? How did the fire stop Vader from getting to Kenobi? Why did Vader not chase after Kenobi? Right? That's episode 3. But we're moving on, right? Like, I'm not driving down that hill yet. I'm just like head scratcher, but I'm still rocking with it. But then episode 4, I'm really driving down the hill right now. Like, I'm not falling off the cliff, but I'm driving down that hill. Because, like, those things are compiled to episode 4 to where we get the same type of rinky-dink shit. And then it just really enumerates everything else. So, where I might not have had an issue with how they were saved by those, by the fighter jets or whatever you want to call it. How they were saved by those, I don't know the technical name, if you will, for it. But how they were saved by the jets at the end. How I probably would have overlooked that if it didn't have other issues. Now I'm looking at it. Now, one thing there's no way in hell that I would overlook, no matter how good the show was, is the fact that you got a base that's on lockdown, bruh. You got a base that's on lockdown with hundreds of troops looking for a little girl and a man. And you got a grown-ass man in the oversized trench coat that no one else has on with a huge hump sticking out of his side with another pair of legs walking beside it, and she even peeks out. And he's holding her. And you're walking past all these security guards. Somebody even looks at them. Bro. Nobody in the Empire has a beard. Bruh, no, I've not seen one person in the Empire with a beard. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm tripping, but I haven't. Red fucking flag. This guy looks scraggly as fuck. He looks homeless, but he's he's a military ranking official, and he can just walk past everybody, even though we're on high alert and lockdown. These people get through a door and get to a ship. Reva says the fifth brother says lock this place down. So whatever he says, right? But they get to the fucking ship, looking the way they do, bro. Sloppy as hell. So when stuff like that happens, I then start to wonder, how in the hell did Kenobi dry off his clothes after he swam under a vent, and after he swam through an underwater vent to get there? The underwater vent is still a miracle to me in itself. I mean, like, I guess I get it. I get how you can get through the vent, like, right? I get how you, like, open one valve and then, like, so, and then you allow the water pressure to go away, and then you just open another valve and the water's not spewing out of there. But you guys do remember we heard the water when he got out of there, right? And then as soon as he gets out, he's dried off. On top of that, he's swimming at the floor of a large body of water. My man's is not using the force and he's just swimming through it like that weight of that water is not weighing him down, even though he is at the very bottom of it. Like, then you start to point shit out like that when you have these recurring issues. Again, still an okay show. Still a just below good show. But those issues become just so glaring that you have to talk about it. But that's not even the real issue here. The real issue here is that, bruh, the story makes no sense. Did Reva think Obi-Wan was dead? No, she didn't. But why is she not pissed? Like, I needed the explanation from Vader. Vader let somebody go that he wanted to get all this time. He could have done whatever with him. They could have interrogated finding Kenobi was not the answer to figuring out where this whole path is and shit is, right? Kenobi can't tell you. Kenobi's not doing the past shit. But it just don't make fucking sense. It doesn't make sense because one explanation, like, people are doing mental gymnastics, bro. Like, the mental gymnastics that I've seen people do to explain the decisions this show has made is just baffling to me. If you want to make those mental gymnastics so you can enjoy the show, do it. If that's what it takes for the show to be good to you, do it. But I'm not one that's going to deal with that shit. Like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to jump through these mental hoops just so I can say a show is good. I'm not going to do it. And the biggest ones that I've seen, especially when it comes to episode 3, is that people are saying Vader wanted to hunt him out. Vader wanted to hunt him. Vader wanted to do all this shit, right? That's what they said in episode 3. So why, if that's the case, why in episode 4 is he not the one interrogating Leia? Why in episode 4 is he not the one setting the trap to get more information and track Kenobi? Why is it Reva doing that? That doesn't make sense. If that was, you know what I mean? If the reason why he let Obi-Wan live in the first place is so he can hunt him out and do all this other stuff, then why isn't he taking advantage of, why isn't he doing everything he can to get him like Reva is? So you tell me Reva is doing a better job at tracking down Kenobi and doing this than Vader? Bullshit. Reva ain't that good. Like, I'm sorry, this Vader. Vader should be doing that stuff. Now, I'm not saying Vader should be I'm not saying Vader should be in there doing the work, putting in that shit. No. But what I am saying, Vader should be commissioning. Reva should be taking that plan to Vader. Vader should not be left in the dark about anything. If the reason why he let him live in episode 3 was for that reason. So all that to say, like, bro, I'm settling for this to be mids, bro. And that's disappointing. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with the show being good. There's nothing wrong with the show being okay. But it's like, it's Kenobi. This is where I'll equate it to the Batman, right? I equated it to Loki earlier. This is where I equated it to the Batman. Because last night, on Wednesday night, when I watched Kenobi first. That's what I expected to do. Even though I'm a Marvel stan, I watched Kenobi first. I should have watched Ms. Marvel first. I could have waited on Kenobi until Wednesday night. I should have watched Ms. Marvel first. Because I watched Kenobi as soon as I got to work. I should have watched Ms. Marvel. Because Ms. Marvel was more interesting. Ms. Marvel had a better story. Ms. Marvel didn't have those issues. It properly connected with this universe. I'll get into it later. Ms. Marvel was pretty fucking good. There's no way it should be going toe-to-toe with Kenobi. It's the same thing with the Batman. The Batman is alright. It's good. It's not what everybody is making it out to be. It's great. It's good. on one watch. For me, I can only watch it once. I tried to watch it again, couldn't make it through that shit. It's good. It's just good. It's not great. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's just a step above okay, so it's good. But there's no reason, based off the character of the Batman, there's no reason why that should be just good and make less than what a Doctor Strange movie makes. Even though Doctor Strange wasn't even like going back and looking at it, like it was pretty, like it was great, but it wasn't great. Like Doctor Strange is just like, when I was talking about okay just being like a step above to good, Doctor Strange was like good, and you just add a little step there and it's great. That's what Doctor Strange is. It's the same shit with Kenobi. There's no reason why Miss Marvel should even be talked about at this point when Kenobi is out there. There's no reason why Miss Marvel should have this hype while Kenobi is at episode 4 of his series. So it's mids, bro. And that's just disappointing. That's just very disappointing. This is very disappointing. So, like, at the end of the day, I'm going to ask this question, and then we're going to move on. They should have never, bro, they should have never done that. I'm going to ask this question, and then we're going to move on to the Miss Marvel talk. Should they have made the Kenobi series at all? Should they, at this point in episode 4, where we're at right now, 2 episodes left, should they have even made this series? Should they have even gone through the trouble of dredging up Obi-Wan Kenobi, taking Ewan McGregor out of the desert, and making this series? Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Well, if you ask me in episodes 1 and 2, I would say hell yeah, it's worth it. If you ask me in episode 3, I would say yeah, they think they probably should have done it. But if you're asking me right now, the answer is hell no, bro. Hell no. Hell no, they should have not have made this show. It's not fucking worth it. If you're not going to knock the home run out the park during the home run derby, like, this is the home run derby right here, bro. Institute the thumbnail because everybody's watched it, bro. Like, it's just, bro. This should have been a home run, easy to knock out the park. But you're not doing it. You're not hitting it with this shit. So you shouldn't have made it, bro. Like, if you can't, if they were nervous, if there was any type of sensibility as like, yo, this might not end up being what we want it to be, they shouldn't have made the show. They shouldn't have made the show. To be honest with you. That's just my take. But I will say, I'm hopeful. Out of all of that, look, there's still room for them to pick this back up and for it to work its way to be a great show, right? Like, it's still a way. Like, if episode 5 is good and if episode 6 is great, then they can do that. But I just don't have the faith. I just really don't have the faith because right now we haven't spent any time with Vader. We don't know what Vader is thinking. We don't know what his plans or motives are. We can't even theorize that shit because we haven't had any time with him. Shit, the only time we had with Vader is when he's in the back to tank breathing and when he's force choking people and being scared of fire. That's the only time we've seen Vader. I think it is the Kenobi, like MCOG, and I ain't really trying to point that out, but I think it is the show. Like, I think it is the Kenobi show. Like, the amount of Kenobi is not bothering me. Like, I think we have a pretty good amount of Kenobi and, like, showing, like, an art that Kenobi is going through. One thing I would like to see more from Kenobi, like Jason asked this question earlier during the Star Wars Santa stream, and I appreciate the question because it's like, what more, like, what would you like to see that would make the episode, that would be able to make it worth being made in episodes 5 and 6? Yeah, that's a pretty fucking great question. And one thing I would have loved to see more from the show is, all right, we get the sense that Obi-Wan is struggling with the Force, but he's been struggling with the Force since episodes 2, 3, and 4, and we haven't seen real moment. Like we've seen him pray, like try to get out there, but we have like I just feel like we haven't seen progress. Maybe he feels like he's knocking off some cobwebs when he's holding back that window, but it's like I'm just not connecting with that element of the story. So that's one thing I would like to see pull more from right there and develop Kenobi more with is this like what's going on with him in the Force. And if they focus episode 5 on that, I'm cool with it. But like how much time are they gonna focus on Force shit in episode 5? And if they do that, then we're not getting Vader at all until episode 6, and it's like, bruh. Man, like it's like that shit's like a just missed opportunity after missed opportunity after missed opportunity with this show. So I'm hopeful for episode 5 and 6 to be better. I really am, like, bro. I love great content. Like that's the thing about me. Like I'm no hater. I'm very objective to shit. Like I talk this shit about Marvel. Y'all know me. Like I talk this shit about Marvel. Fucking can't stand Falcon and the Winter Soldier, bro. I can't stand it's. I'm not gonna say I can't stand it. I just don't like it like that. Like it just didn't slap to me like that. It's mids. It's mids. And it's the same with this show. Like I can be objective, and this shit is mids, bro. Like I'm gonna just call it for what it is. I mean, if people are loving it and liking it, that's great because some people can look at it through a lens where it's not objective. But what I will say is like episodes 1 and 2, they had my wife interested. Like my wife's interest was peaked in episode 1. And for real, that intro they did before episode 1, when they recapped the whole prequel trilogy, that shit was lit. My wife was like, it makes sense. That was great. My wife literally complimented them for putting that piece together because she knew what was happening. But then we watched episode 2. She was down with episode 1. She thought episode 1 was a movie. She said, oh, I thought it was a movie. Then we watched episode 2. And she got up and started doing something halfway through the episode. She didn't want to watch episode 3. I ain't really probably going to push her to watch episode 4 because I don't want to rewatch that shit. So it's it. And that's another thing, too. Like, this show is not rewatchable at all. Like, I'm going to just say that, too. It's not, I tried to rewatch episodes last night, and it's like, bruh, the more I watch it, the more it ticks me off. But I digress. That's some good H2O right there, bruh. Let me get through these comments, because I know y'all had a lot to say. Let me get through these comments, and then we'll get into Miss Marvel talk. Let me turn this music back on. Damn, 89% says no. They should not have made the show. They definitely should. Now, I think even if you like the show, you can still say they shouldn't have made the show. Like, that question is not about whether or not you like the show or not. The question is whether or not it's worth going through this shit with the fandom and going through this shit. I don't even want to say the fandom, because it's not even really fandom toxic shit I'm seeing. Like, somebody made a Quentin Lee, Holla at Quentin Time podcast. He made a great point earlier, say, yo, at least people aren't talking about Reva no more. They're actually talking about the real content. And that's the fucking truth, bro. Like, Reva was the target. But then the content was just straight up shit. And I hope they realize that, bro. Leia holding his hand. Yeah, that really was brilliant. Is Vader gonna have to choke a bitch? Is Darth Vader gonna have to choke a bitch? I'm weak, bro.
Find the defendant guilty.
So I think that someone's giving Chow Rodriguez instead, trying to think giving someone a show instead of episodes by committee like The Mandalorian isn't where it is. I feel that way too, Obi-Wan. Like, at least if they like passed the episodes off, we could there's like chances for some different flavor and better episodes. But when you're going straight through, it's like, bro, for real. Thanks, Winter Soldier. Hey, look, Nathan says the fact that this was only half hour long is crazy, and not showing Vader with that time that we had was a bit crazy, right? Like, look, I'm not asking for Vader to be out here slicing people down, but give us dialogue with Vader. Like, have Vader talking about what's going on with Kenobi. Vader just saw his fucking mentor who's made him who he is. And we have not heard Vader say anything about it. Like, come on. Even if he's talking in a mirror, even if he's in his head, we need some shit, bro. At least even give us a flashback of Vader thinking about it. Nothing. Their idea for Kenobi was we'll bring back Hayden and Ewan, and then anything else we do, the fans will be okay with, even if it's not good. That's what it feels like, Felicity, a little bit. It feels like they're just putting stuff in. Like, it's like, as long as we have these two cool moments, that's all we need. Because who would have ever thought Vader and Kenobi would be on the same screen again? That's what they were like. That's what it feels like they thought. Individual directors were bringing their A game to the Mando series. Exactly, bro. Just have someone overseeing the story and not having, that would have been like the best move. Definitely would have been the best move. Reva probably would have been a better character to introduce in something like Ahsoka, right? Wait a minute. The war is over. What am I thinking? Reva probably shouldn't be alive in Ahsoka. I don't know. Maybe even in Andor, bro. But just not in Kenobi. Like, Reva probably would have been better to introduce in Andor, maybe. Just not Kenobi. That's it. Just not Kenobi. Like, I don't know if the Inquisitors were still around during, they had to be around during Andor. Right? Yeah, they would have had to been around during Andor. So yeah, maybe they could have introduced her in Andor. But it just bringing her into this show feels very panderish to me. But yeah, Obi-Wan is definitely onto something with that director shit. Alright, see you, Winter Soldier. See you, bucket. I'm sitting shotgun. Oh, you riding down the hill with me, bro? I feel you. Driving down that hill with your hand on the e-brake. Look, I'm driving down the hill with with my hand on the wheel, ready to turn it around. Right? Like, I'm not off the show, but I am driving down the hill. Must have thought Obi-Wan had that ram booty. Man, why you gotta bring Monica up in this, bro? Why you gotta bring Monica? Look, man, I hope we see my girl, though. I hope we see her in Miss Marvel. No, Felicity, I must nitpick. I'm out my nitpicking mind, ain't I? Someone jacked your kid. It look like it, don't it? It look like it. You don't even gotta be a detective, though. You don't even gotta be a detective, Obi-Wan, to figure out, to see the plot holes here. It's crazy that he didn't go straight to the base and find out how they escaped. He wouldn't let that stand, I feel like. Exactly, bro. Exactly. I feel like he'd be in all hands on deck mode, ready to go after that shit that happened. It was very good, Nathan Grew. I definitely agree. We're gonna talk about Miss Marvel here in a second. Nah, Justice Simone, people watched it. And the reason why I put that thumbnail is because people who usually call shit woke ain't calling this shit woke. People who usually call this shit woke are giving it compliments. And I'm like, no, there's a reason. I'll get to that reason. No, because if they're going to make it this Miz with rewrites, then why bother? Hey, why bother with the rewrites if it's going to be this Miz? I feel you. What's going on, John? Hey, just thanks for dropping in, bro. Hey, man, I blown past it, but we're still on the grind to get up there, man. We're trying to get to it. I heard the rumor that Roken's missing wife was Reva. Not sure about that. Yeah, that'd be hard to believe, bro. Because I mean, especially if it's that theory that Reva was one of the Padawans. That's a hard one to believe, bro. That's definitely a hard one to believe. Can we get a death spray before we get into Miss Marvel? Yeah, let's get this thing spray in. Because like Felicity said, this music is popping. Hey, let's get a stretch on. I hear that little skip in thing. Alright, let's go. Alright. Get a little dance spray. All right, so look, let's get into this Miss Marvel talk. I just need some shit to pull up on the screen here. I'm just gonna pull up Rotten Tomatoes because people are watching it. Justin, trying to come here discredit the thumbnail. Justin, people are watching it. Justin, people are watching it. All right, I'm about to cut this music off again. I need to thank. I need to thank. I think it's more important to be able to thank than to have music in the background. All right, but yo, so look, all in all, yo, Miss Marvel is pretty fucking good. Like, can I just say, for a premiere, I'm gonna talk about the show first before I get into the woke shit. For a premiere, it's the best MCU TV premiere show that we've had so far. I say Loki was probably would probably make Loki number 2. I mean, I just recently rewatched the first episode of Loki, and it was brilliant. But this one is just like, bruh. And then I'll probably say Falcon and the Winter Soldier, even though I don't like the series as a whole. I'll probably say Falcon and the Winter Soldier had probably the better opening episode, too. Close second would probably be, close third, if you will, would probably be Hawkeye. I like the opener of that episode, how it set the tone. But no. Miss Marvel is probably the best premiere that we've gotten so far, right? And really, I talked about it in the video breakdown, so it's probably just gonna be a little bit of a TLDR on that. But really, it's just like brilliant. Like, it comes down to really, like, it feels like they put the effort into this show. It seems like they took the extra step in this show. With everything except for AvengerCon, it feels like they took the effort with this show. Let me ask y'all this. New poll. I'm in the poll. First off, starting off Miss Marvel, opening it up the way they did was brilliant because it's a great way of really connecting you to this universe. Huge complaint of what we've gotten so far in the MCU TV shows is that the connective tissue hasn't really been there with the movies. Like, it just really hasn't been connecting like that. But the way they made Miss Marvel connect to the rest of the MCU, showing her place as a fan, showing why she loves Miss Marvel, showing how she gets this information, which is a huge point. That is like pretty fucking genius, bro. Because it reminds you that you're in the MCU and it reminds you of her place in it. That was great. Also, as well, they set the intrigue up. Like, I think they introduced the Bengals, and I called them in the video bracelets. I feel stupid. But the Bengals, that like they set them up pretty well as well. Like, they didn't force them in our face. They didn't make it like a far-fetched thing. Like, I mean, I really believe they're handed down from her grandmother, who her mom talks about being crazy. So that's good there too as well. Also too, like I said, the effort that they take in the show, the places that they go for the graphics that they're adding in there, that's really helping the show with the pacing. I think that's something that really, like, a lot of younger audiences would probably like, because that reminds me of some of the content that they seem to consume, right? Like a lot of those edits in there, even on kids' YouTube. Like, you have those edits pop up in videos, and having these edits pop up in the show, I think, is pretty genius. So that's just good parts about this show here. Like, they're putting the effort into it, making that show out. It's helping the dialogue, it's helping the pacing, and it's making the show more enjoyable, more visual, right? Like, really making it more imaginative. On top of that, the cast, everybody's acting brilliantly. On top of that, the family is dope. All those elements coming together, it feels great. I mean, like, I thought it was for teenagers, yeah. But when you think about her coming for age, it's cool. Like, coming of age show is cool. And, like, that's kind of what it is. You know, I even thought about it before watching, like, when the hype, when I started to kind of look more anticipating for this show. Like, my hype never got to where, like, I'm actually liking the show the way I am right now. But my hype to check it out was starting to get up there to the point, like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it. One of the parts that made me feel that way was one of the parts that made me Like, shit, where is I going? Fuck. Whether they really like it. Either way, it's just a good show. But also to another thing I love, I might come back to that point. Also to another thing I love about it is just the it's just the powers. Like the powers look dope. The powers look really cool. Like it for real. Like I can't think of powers that look that cool since the first time I saw Iron Man suit. I mean I know Miss Marvel shit. Like Miss Marvel's powers really don't look that cool like that. Fights that Doctor Strange has does look cool, but like the powers as far as the Sling Ring don't look as cool. Wanda's shit maybe doesn't really look as cool as that either. But I mean Thor shit looks cool when he powers up, but this shit like it's just different, bro. It's on a different level. I think she probably has some of the best looking powers. Alongside, I mean, I do like Shang-Chi's powers as well. But that's that. So I'm excited to see where we're going here. Like theory wise of what's going on, like I really am on the train that this is a I really on the theory train that this is going to connect to the Inhumans. Like that the Bengals are like emit Terrigen Mist and taps into her Inhuman taps into what makes her Inhuman, right? And I'm really kind of digging my heels into that after what we got in Multiverse of Madness. Because if you remember in Multiverse of Madness, the pitchfork on Black Bolt's helmet, on Black Bolt's head, it lights up whenever he uses it. Which is possibly the same thing as when Kamala puts on the bangles and it sends energy shockwaves around her body like that. Possibly similar type of things. So I'm very interested in that. I have seen some theories about some people thinking the dude from the damage control could be Black Bolt. Or Maximus. I found that to be very interesting. I could see him as either one of those characters, and being in damage control does put you in that type of situation to have that kind of power. So yeah, I am definitely looking forward to see how it connects there. Definitely want to see. Look forward to the cameos that we might get as well. I will say with Avenger Con, bruh, like now that shit felt like some Kenobi shit. Like it's not that big, but see the thing is like the other like if we get slighted like that again, then it's gonna feel more. We're gonna feel it more, right? But the show's writing is so strong. Like it was so good. Like it didn't. The only thing we're talking about is Avenger Con. The only thing we're talking about is Avenger Con. But yeah, if Avenger Con was to come up and it's like that, I'm not going. So that's really my only gripe with Avenger Con. Like they could have at least rented out a bigger place. They could have at least like said they're at Camp Lehigh, but I don't know. Maybe the decision to have it at night made it feel weird. But Avenger Con just felt like it was prom night. That's what Avenger Con felt like. Especially though in the fact that this is an Avengers sanctioned event. Whoever is sanctioning it, because remember, nobody around from that point. Maybe Rhodey could have a little bit of influence. But anybody that would be in charge or anything like that, like anybody that would be in charge of Camp Lehigh, ain't rocking with the real original crew. Like nobody from the real original crew is in the government right now operating Camp Lehigh, doing anything of that type of sort. Like that's not Fury, that's not SHIELD, that's nothing, right? So it has to be sanctioned by someone who is in charge, and I'm curious who that in charge person is. But the truth is, it's just fucking lackluster. It's just lackluster. Like they didn't even have no technology there, bro. Like I didn't even see like anything that like stood out to be like, if you're in the MCU and you're going to an Avenger Con, I would expect to see some shit that does some tricks. I would expect to see some shit that floats. I would expect to see some shit flying around all the time. Some hollow projection shit. It ain't have none of that, bro. It ain't have no technology there. They might as well been in the 1990s, bro. But Felicity, the crazy thing is, that looked like that. Like, at least they were joking in The Boys. That's like, because that's a great point. Like, it was worse. Like, it was a whack version of that. But at least they were joking in the boys. Like, I think they're being dead on serious with this. It's like AvengerCon, do this shit. Like, bro, like, you can't call this shit AvengersCon. You can't hype it up like that. But all in all, one of the big hangups about this show that I had going in is that I did think it was going to be a pretty woke show. I think a lot of people thought that it was going to be a woke show. The truth is, we get some messaging in here. There is messaging in there, but it doesn't feel woke. And I thought about that. I was like, why doesn't this show feel woke? Why aren't people complaining about this show being woke? Can we be real here? Here's the thing. I don't get triggered by woke shit. I don't. Because at the end of the day, and look, I don't care if you we can agree to disagree. But what is woke? What is woke? My interpretation, woke is inclusiveness, right? Like, woke is in the message of preaching racism. Woke is in the message of preaching, like, anything like, right? Woke is inclusion, right? Now, do I agree with everything, right? Like, do I agree with all woke shit? No. Like, I'm woke when it comes to my complexion, right? And people of my color. I'm woke in allowing people to love who they want to love. But that's as far as it goes. Like, there's certain things, like, I'm drawing the line at when it comes to that woke shit. Like, I'm very staunch on that, bro. Like, and even on some other things, like, it's like, I'm kind of conservative, but at the end of the day, I don't tell people how to live their lives. I think that's how everybody should be, right? But I'm also here for inclusion. Like, I'm also here for people to get their representation, fair representation. So, with all that being said, in my definition, to me, Ms. Marvel is a woke show. Captain Marvel is a woke show. Ms. Marvel is a woke show. Like, this, like, to me, there's no way around. Like, the messages they're putting in there is woke. It's woke. Like, I can't say it any other way. It's woke. But it's not getting that criticism. It's more woke. That show is more woke than Kenobi. And Kenobi was getting hella woke criticism just because they created Reva. Who, again, I do think Reva is made as a pandering character. But what they're doing is her character representation, yeah. But is the message of what her character is doing woke? No. Because she is an angry... If it was woke, she wouldn't be such an angry black woman. And Reva is a one hell of an angry black woman. And if she was woke, if the show was woke, she would be a calm black woman with the Inquisitors saying, why are you always angry? No, Reva is always angry and yelling and rageful. That's not woke shit. That's not woke shit. But this show is woke. But why aren't people calling it, right? Like, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take anything for people to look at something and call it woke. It doesn't. I wonder how many times we're going to say woke tonight. It doesn't take much of anything for people to look at a show and call it woke material. The same people that are quick to call out woke shit and some of your favorite YouTubers, same people that are quick to call out woke shit are saying, no, they're handling this so brilliantly in this show. It's handling it so well. But in saying that, I think that's saying it's something that's a lot more true, a lot more identifying about their character than it is about what the show is doing. Than it says about what anything woke is. You get what I'm saying? That by what some of these people who would be calling other material, who would be calling other shit woke, like if you think that Wanda being able to do what she's doing is woke, right? If you think that Wanda overpowered, if you think that's woke, if you think that Captain Marvel is woke because the messages that she puts in there, if you think that's woke, but this isn't, then there's something in you. Because check this, bro. I was looking at it. I'm thinking, why doesn't this feel woke? Why doesn't it feel? One, it is organic. The show is organic, right? People are saying that the show feels organic. And I think because it plays on what people view Pakistani and Middle Eastern Muslim families. That's why people aren't viewing it as woke. That's why these SJWs aren't viewing it as woke, because you're taking the message, you're sending out the same message, right? Like, allowing a woman to be herself is the message that Kamala Khan is really getting out there. Like, allowing her to grow into her own, right, is what she's getting out there. It's pretty much the same message that Captain Marvel is sending out there. Except in Captain Marvel, the antagonist and the person sending that message is a white man. But in this shit, the person sending out that message is a Middle Eastern woman. That's not a different. That doesn't have anything to do with that making the show more woke or not. You're sending out the same message. But these people who are like, oh, this show isn't woke, they're handling it so well, they just don't feel attacked. They just don't feel attacked. And you know what? I'm not even going to take it there because it's not everybody who says like that type of stuff. But for the anti-SJW stuff, you don't feel attacked. And probably those people might watch this show and feel good. Because it's like, good, she's standing up to their terrible ways, right? She's standing up to their terrible traditions that they have in Muslim culture. That's what she's doing. She's standing up for it. It's not woke. It's good shit. But it's the same exact fucking message that you get in Miss Marvel, in Captain Marvel, but it's just a different messenger. Bro, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Like, am I like, put a fist in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. And put a middle finger in the chat if you don't. I'm fine with it. I don't care if you agree with me or don't agree with me. I mean, that's what life's about. Like, I ain't gonna hate you for it. As long as you're not racist, I fuck with you. But at the end of the day, as long as you're not racist and as long as you're a respectful human being, I fuck with you. But for the most part, as long as you're not racist, I fuck with you. But you can't tell me. And just being the anti-SJW, I don't think makes you racist at all. But, bruh, that's the difference in the show. Like, this show, honestly, to me, is not handling the message any better. Like, it's just the fact that it feels the way people feel about it because they're not being attacked by the show. It feels like they're not being attacked by the show. Oh, so you fucking with what I'm saying, but you're not fucking with what I'm saying, green boner. Oh, it's all right, man. But that's just honestly the way it comes out, right? Because I guarantee you, for real, even when it comes to Reva, the woke shit ain't feeling that hard on Reva because the Grand Inquisitor or the Fifth Brother is not a white man coming down on a black woman, right? Like, that's not the antagonist shit. So they might not even be feeling targeted by Reva anymore because it's not like she's going up against it. What's going on, Neo? Thanks for popping in here. It's not like she's going up against it, right? I just wanted to point that out because it's like I've seen it over and over again, and that I asked the question in Chillmonger stream because I haven't seen it. Like, I'm not in those type of circles. I don't have Middle Eastern friends. But I was very curious because to me, watching it from my lens, the reason why it didn't seem woke is because I thought that's how it felt. It explained everything that I think about Pakistani culture, like not being able to wear those tight clothes. Like, the parents being hella strict. Like, those things make me think about that culture. But also at the same time, that's very fucking stereotypical. That's very stereotypical, bro. So, like, I was curious to see, like, if this felt more stereotypical for people who live for people in the Muslim culture, or if it's actually a real depiction of life. And from what I've seen on social media, it's a real depiction of life from their end of things. But that doesn't relieve the fact that I think people are like, that the usual anti-SJW criers aren't looking at this to say it's not. They're looking at this to be like, yo, this they're handling this woke stuff really well. It's not woke. They're preaching messages, but it doesn't feel woke. The reason why it doesn't feel woke because it's not targeting you. Because it's not targeting you. And guess what? It's not feeling woke because you're probably going to cheer for Kamala to get what she wants out of this, but you won't cheer for Captain Marvel to get what she wanted out of her shit. Only difference is Kamala going after her Middle Eastern mom, and it is Captain Marvel going after Jude Law. That's the difference, bro. And it's just the targeting aspect of it. Like, to me, that's... Hey, see you, Nathan, man. It's good hanging out with you, bro. Hey, yeah, we're gonna be back streaming on the reg. I'm probably not gonna stream next week. I'll be out of town. I will be on the main authority next weekend. But yeah. Deuces, bro. But yeah, like that's just my take on it, bro. Like that's just my take on it. It's like, yeah, I can see people. Oh, you parked on the highway right now, bro? Are you good? Do I need to come scoop you? I'm playing. I can't come get you. I'm playing. Captain Marvel is whack. I ain't cheering for it. Captain Marvel is pretty whack. She's a whack ass character. But I can deal with the character. Like I can deal with the issues of Captain Marvel without saying it's a piece of. It's like without blaming. As long as you're saying she's not a woke piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like she is OP. They did put her there for a reason. But it's like she's fighting for the same shit that Miss Marvel fighting for. Traffic jam, okay, cool. As long as you're not broke down on the road, not broke down mountain over there, Green Boner. I start calling you Green Boner everywhere I go. But yeah, that's just it, bro. And that's all I want to take. Like I think that's why people aren't calling it woke. Now, don't get me wrong, people are calling it woke. Like there are people out there calling it woke, but the amount of people that's out there calling it woke ain't where I thought it would be, and it ain't really where I think it should be when you're looking at the shit that's being preached in this show. Like you might have had like 3 or 4 woke moments in this show, 3 or 4 woke messages in this show, and it's like you're not even seeing people care about it. Either way though, it's good because like Justin Simone said, it's because people aren't watching it. Well, it's good that people are getting the sense that the show is going to be woke. It's a good thing they're not watching it. Because one, I don't think you should ever watch something just to talk shit about it. I don't think you should ever watch something just to not be supportive of it. So they felt like the show was going to be woke and they didn't want to get triggered or watch it. That's good. But I definitely don't find that to be the case because I've heard people talk about it who call stuff woke, talk about how well the show has been handling woke stuff. But the truth of the matter is, it's not targeting your typical anti-SJW audience. That's just it. At the end of the day, that typical like I'm not even gonna stereotype. But I would just say at the end of the day, like they feel less targeted if it's targeting a different culture than targeting their culture. Without realizing that it's the same message being preached all around. Without realizing that we do a lot of the same things that, like, there's a lot of limits on our women. There's just like there's a lot of limits on Middle Eastern women. Now, it's definitely not to the extreme. You know what I mean? It's definitely not to that extreme. But at the end of the day, they would love to have the same things that like our women are fighting for things that we can give them, and that's just the truth. And like at the end of the day. I said, I'm a fucking human being, bro. I'm a fucking human being. I ain't know if you knew this, but you're a fucking human being, too. I know, like, our ancestors originated from different continents. You know, certain shit went down and made our pigmentation go a certain type of way, made our hair different. At the end of the day, we're fucking human beings. I'm with every fucking, like, I'm love. Shit. There was one point, bro. I'm all right, now I'm rambling. There was one point, bro, that I was like, man, fuck everything else. It's all black. Like, there was one point where it was like, fuck them. It's all black. And I still ride for my black. Like I still cheer for my like. I'm not even a friend. I'm watching Wheel of Fortune. If there's a black person on Wheel of Fortune, I'm pulling for it. Like I'm sorry, but that's just how it. Like that's just how it go. But it's not even like. It's just that like, bro. I feel like I pull for us because we're down so much already, bro. But at the end of the day, I want what's best for everyone. Like, I'm not. I don't think I wouldn't call myself like a LGBT person to be out there with them on like a marching and shit. But at the end of the day, you should be able to marry who you want to marry, love who you want to love. I'm a fucking human being. We're all fucking human beings and treat everybody with respect. I'm not a Muslim. I'm a Christian, but doesn't mean that I don't want to break bread with a Muslim person. You know what I mean? It's just all that. So like, we just need to realize we're human fucking beings, and this shit won't feel like that. This shit won't feel like it. Neo says, either way, I don't need Hollywood to help me out on my stance with race relations. That is 100% fact, Neo. Like Neo, but they're not saying that shit for us though. There's some things they do need to say, bro. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100. Part of the reason why we're in this position is because of the shit that's been pushed out on TV. So like, bro, I tell you, like, people who watch stuff, like younger people who take in content will sometimes put content over what their morals are being taught, right? No, you bleed, Green Bear. So like that needs, honestly, like it's not for us because we were the ones who were done wrong in previous shit that was in Hollywood, previous shit that was on screens. We were the ones who were done wrong. Like that shit's not for us. That messaging is for people who oppress us. Like at the end of the day, that's how it is. Like that messaging is for racist people. And they need it because it's some places where they won't ever see it. It's some places where they won't ever see it, bro. Like, it's funny because I'm down here in where I'm from, and it's like, I might go, like, my job and the money I make, like, where I'm from, it puts us in a different economic class down here. And I'm not even rich, but it's not a lot of money down, like, it's just not a lot of wealth down here. And to be, like, somebody who's 20 in his like 20s, black, own a house and like have the success I have. That's very rare. There's maybe like I can count on my hand the amount of other like black men who are like that under 30 and right here kind of at the same level with me in this area as far as like that type of status wise go. All that to say, I be in areas like I'm in country Virginia. You can go. A white person down here can go without interacting with a black person. So I find it interesting when I go to somebody's house and there's like we see a white baby and they're staring at me. Like, this might very well be the first time they've had a black person in their house. And that's like how it is. So with that being said, like, you don't know that experience because like down here they can go to preschool with all white kids. Like my daughter is the only. That's a long time. My daughter was the only black girl and only black kid in her class. Like, you can go down that line here. So, like, to where you don't understand those experiences of what you're putting other people through. So, like, with that being said, like, you don't understand all that and everything that everybody's going through. So, like, that being said, some people do need that shit on screen, bro. Like, I can't even front. Like, it's not for us. That's why, like, it doesn't even, like, it really just rolls off of me. Like, the messaging that they're shooting out there is not for me. I did feel like some of the woke messaging that was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was pretty good woke messaging, like, to be real. I feel like some of that was for us, and I feel like some of that could have been needed, bro. Like, I feel like some of the messaging that was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that Sam was sending out to our community was needed. Was needed. Like, the fact that he pulled, I might not necessarily agree with him. Like, for example, with what Sam went through as Cap, his whole thing was pretty much the same moral debate that I feel like a lot of black men who are in law enforcement have, right? Pretty much the same moral debate. For about how a lot of black people feel about black people in law enforcement. Like, what are you doing? Like, it explains that view, and that's the view that we might not ever have with a black person in law enforcement. So, like that to me brings another level of Hollywood, like, really bringing an insight and perspective to that. So, like, yeah, there are, bro, like, I don't need to be preached at about shit that pertains to, like, racism. Like, I don't need to be taught how to not be racist or some shit like that. But you do want to enrich lives. You do want people to get better out of your content. So not to go, like, all, like, I understand. I definitely feel you 100% Neo. But my response to that is, like, it's just not, that's just not sin at us, bro. It's not sin at us. But it's needed. We don't need it, but it's needed for a lot of people out there. That's why it's there. Look, I hope I didn't lose a lot of people. But yeah, that's just my take on why people ain't calling Captain Marvel woke. I mean, Miss Marvel woke. Miss Marvel is definitely a woke show. And I don't think Miss Marvel is being any more subtle about the wokeness in her show than any other thing else. But the one thing that makes it feel not woke is because it's happening in the culture. It's happening within the scope of what people view that culture to be. People view that culture to be strict. And people would view us as Americans would want to do like Kamala does and do American things. So that's why we're pulling for, like, that's where it comes in. That's where it comes in. Well, and I'm not thinking that, and Neo, I take it there. I'm not necessarily, like, because I'm not a big fan of Sam taking over as Cap like that either, bro. Like, I personally would not be Captain America. Like, I wouldn't do it. Like, I honestly wouldn't even want to be his right-hand man, but Sam did it. But, like, I just think the messaging of understanding where he's coming from when it comes to taking the shield, like, I think that's where it gets into play. And, you know, we can agree to disagree on that. But, like, I'm not necessarily saying, like, that's a good way to go, because I personally wouldn't be Captain America. But it helps me understand someone who has that view of, like, what he said to Isaiah Bradley when he talked about why he would be picking up the shield. You know what I mean? Like, that explanation to Isaiah Bradley, that really did it for me. Yeah. Okay, I feel you. The main authority says, how's this already rated this high off of one episode? That's amazing. They can't wait. You talking about Miss Marvel? Oh, because, bro, that one episode was great. Lavis? Is this Lavis? Pretty sure it's Lavis. Lavis, that one episode was great, bro. That's how they can rate it this high, man. That one episode was wild. But yeah, that's just the take I have, man. Like I said, it's more so it's gonna be on Cat 4 is gonna be on No Dose. What do you mean No Dose? I don't know what you're saying there. Look, that show was good, bro. That episode was good. I think it's because a lot of people didn't have their things there. Unfortunately, it's a generational and current thing that people feel so bad about themselves that they need to see someone like them in the media. I don't get it. Well, I'll put it like this, Felicity. Like, I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying, Felicity. But, like, when it comes down to me, it's like, oh, it's going to be woke as fuck. It's going to be No Dose. It's going to be woke as fuck. I hope Captain America... Look, I hope they got past that woke shit with Sam, bro. Like, I really hope... Sam is the worst person to preach, bro. I can't stand Sam in the first place. I can't stand Anthony Mackie in the first place, bro. So that speech that he gave at the end of that shit was cringe. That shit was 100% cringe. Now, I do fuck with the whole, like, working hand-to-hand shit, but other than that, that shit was straight fucking cringe, bro. So I hope that shit's not woke. I hope they just stick to fucking action. But to what Felicity was saying, like, it's unfortunately the generational thing that people feel so bad about themselves that needs. I don't even think it's really, like so bad type of thing about themselves. Really, like, I just think it's cool to see our culture on the screen. Like, I just think it's cool to see something like you 100% relate with on the screen. So it's like, to me, well, at least for me, it's not like feeling so bad about that. It's just like with Black Panther, even though I'm not African, I can like I feel like I related with that shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like even more so with Killmonger because I'm African American. Feel like there's something I can relate with and connect to more and build more of a relationship with. Not because I feel, not because you feel bad about yourself that you need to see yourself, but because of that. Now, like, overrepresentation is a thing. Because to be honest, I've said this all the time before. The amount of black people on TV is not representative of the amount of black people on in America. And that is because black people always fight for equality, like always fight to be included and not fight for their own shit. You don't see Hispanics at like, if you're looking at just like the demographics of America, the Hispanics ain't fighting to get into like this culture like that, right? Like, look, we getting representation. But damn, when Zaxxo Gomez, she was like the first, wasn't she the first superhero, Latina superhero, to be in this show? So it's like, they don't really care because they got their own shit. They're fighting for their own shit. They support their own shit. So, I mean, that is where I get a little hung up on that shit. It's like, damn. We're very overrepresented in the media as black folk. But it's like, it's not that good. It's not that much of a good thing because could be fighting for our own shit. But I would say, on the other hand of that, that's on the same lines as separate but equal, if you were right. Like, if we really fought for our own shit, with the resources that mainstream media gets, is it really separate but equal? No. Like, the resources that they get to do their shit, like, Black Panther wouldn't have been Black Panther if it was done by Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? Like, that type of shit. I mean, I think that even came down to the graphic design. Like, I think that came down to the graphic design of this shit, too. What's up, Nikki? I'm just going to put it that way. Like, the CGI at the end. Who knows? Like, it's just wild. Like, and my issue, too, is there. Like, when you look at Black Panther, you got the whole black set, on set and off set. Then when you look at WandaVision, it's just all, like, ain't nobody there. Ain't no brothers there. Ain't nobody on, like, behind the scenes on WandaVision. But we get enough to do Black Panther. So, like, that's that whole conundrum, too, right? Just like Ryan Coogler, like, I remember somebody was bringing up, Ryan, like, possible directors for the Fantastic Four. And I was like, well, yo, Ryan Coogler would be a great choice. And he should be. He should be. What makes Black Panther dope is that he always been what he is. Even the movie is different because coming from Ryan Coogler is more authentic. I'm dozing. Hey, Nikki, Felicity, you can doze off in the pool pit if you want to. I'm going to wake you up over here. Hold on, what's it? Hey, come on, Jane. Hey, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, though, man. It's been a fun stream. Definitely been a fun stream. It's good to be back in here with this joint with y'all because it's been a minute. I had to dust the cobwebs off. Yeah, if it isn't the half Nubian goddess herself. Who's the half Nubian goddess? You got a half Nubian goddess in here. The half Nubian. But yeah, look, man. Thunderbolts, that news came out. I'm gonna be working on a video on Thunderbolts. That news is out. It definitely triggered Trinity. Definitely funny how that shit triggered Trinity. So like, yo, that shit was funny as fuck. But now, gonna be working on a video on Thunderbolts. This shit's gonna be dope. Also, as well, what else do I have in my notes? Damn, I'm not gonna be able to get to the Ezra Miller talk. But anyway, fucking recast the Flash, recast the T'Challa. Like, do all that shit, bro. Do all that shit. Like, recast them all. Recast Ezra, recast Ezra. Not recast Ezra. Recast Barry. listen. Look, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Oh, Felicity, pass it around the collection plate, put it off. Don't take no money out, and don't let your pastor pout. We're gonna be out of here. Hey, I will holler at y'all in the next video. I'm not gonna be able to stream on Thursday next week. I might try to flex in the stream on Tuesday. I'll be out of town on Tuesday, so there'll probably be no stream next week. But definitely be looking out for the videos. And then after that, we're gonna be back on the streams again. And next Sunday, right? Live is next Sunday. The boy be hanging out with the main gang on the main authority. Man, I'm not gonna say main gang. I'm not. It just came out like that. It just came out like that. Nah, yeah, your boy's gonna be on the main game next weekend. I'm hella hyped for that, bro. I've been a fan of Al Lavis all the way back since the DON days, bro. Like, look, man, I remember at the dark. Like, I ain't even gonna talk. But all I'm gonna say is, I remember when the first shit went down on After Dark with the first people that was on After Dark, and my man's Lavis was still fucking there. And I'm like, let's fucking go. Look, like I said, like it's the same shit. Like you pull for the black person on Wheel of Fortune. I pull for the black person on Wheel of Fortune. Not because I don't want to see the other person win or prosper. Not because I'm gonna be mad. Just identify with them. And when I see Lavis still up on After Dark, way back them years ago, I see him still up on After Dark sitting there and he's talking about the shit that went down. I'm like, let's fucking go, man. So look, all that to say, like, bro, I'm hype as fuck to be on their channel tomorrow, on their channel next weekend. So just make sure y'all come through because it's gonna be a dope time talking with them good brothers, man. So look, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I might treat y'all with some bars tonight. I had to see if I could whip something up a little bit. But yeah. Oh shit. We're gonna find it. There we go. I took off to the dojo for a little bit. They still exist, but yeah. I see y'all later. Deuces. Still hanging around. Hanging around for. We don't got shit popping off over here. We ain't working on shit. We ain't popping on shit. Damn, I lost a sub today. Tonight during the stream. It's wild. It's wild. I ain't in it for the subs. I can't even lie. I'm in it for the subs. I need the subs. I be up too late at night to not be in it for the subs. I need the subs. Who doesn't need the subs? Real question. Who doesn't need the subs? We getting bars, man. Hey, we getting bars, hey. I wanna go and roll up a fat blunt and go and smoke that shit. And then pull up upstairs and go and cuddle my chick. And when I cuddle that chick, I might cuddle polite. I talk real smooth, but I never talk real nice. We be playing these games. I'm on the real version, they on the light. They be talking about how I be light on the mic. Never that, haters bring that energy, it's never good. We be pushing on that good, we be pushing on that wood. Never pushing me, but all these bitches pushing me. You can't even push me to OD. I'm smoking that mid-pack, talking Kenobi shit. I don't even know the shit. I don't even know the bitch. You don't even know the bitch? You talking about revenge shit. She be going off and shit. I ain't even mad at it. She be mad at shit. She be yelling and shit. But the shit legit. I ain't even hating it. I don't hate Kenobi, but I ain't in love with it either. I might smoke on the shit, and I might dish it like ether. I might sing on the bed. I might sing like Aretha. But I might go watch Miss Marvel. I might go watch Miss Marvel because it got Kamala in it, and she really killing in it, and that shit is really hitting. I don't give a fuck. I be smoking on the best. I be smoking never less. I be smoking leaving stress. I be relieving stress when I hit the button. I be coming back. Damn, that shit be calling back. But we glad to be back up in the studio, straight up hit, straight up killing with my people in this thinking like some shitlins. Damn, I said it's thinking like some shitlins. I'm sounding ignorant. I really gotta get it. Hit the stinky leg and you got one leg. Damn, how you gonna do that if you got one leg? Damn, hit the stinky leg like you got one leg. Damn, how you gonna do that if you got one leg? Saying stupid shit. I don't give a fuck. I'll be pulling up with the semi-tuck in the semi-truck like I'm big boy. I'll be pulling out all the big toys. No bin Laden, better be sliding, better be plotting, better be riding. This girl out here, she be rolling like F and F. She actually died, she out here twerking at the red lights. I don't even want to bite. If she throw that thigh shit, I don't got no appetite. I need me the wifey type to come and get the wifey like. Come and get the wifey toppy when I need it right on time. When I get it right on mine, I just be on my line like it's Bobby on them lines. Damn, really on my grind. I gotta get up out of here. Cause I gotta get up out of here. Damn, I be on my grind, so I gotta get up out of here. Cause a nigga gotta get up out of here. To the east side of the side. All right, look, I'm bothering. I gotta get up out of here though. I ain't spitting fire, though. I saw your little bars in here. I don't spit fire though. I just talking.